Oh, that's a problem. There we go. Okay, this is weird. All right, this is my first time going live, and I don't really have a lot that I wanted to do, but I thought maybe people might want to, they need a place to chat or something. I'm just gonna, this is my first time going live. Um, and let's see, I better plug in. I'm going to try to watch the chat on my phone if there is a chat. And I thought I'd go live. It's about 1:30 in the morning here in Minnesota, USA. And just in case there are some people out there that got nothing else to do, I don't have words of wisdom, or I'm not a tutor. I don't toot. I'm just playing around with my crafts, and I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm new at it, and so you can watch me fumble around, I guess, or not. So let's see if I know how to do this. Where's me? So, hi, Mr. Slash. Seem to be the one and only person on the chat. Oh, is that Leslie B? Yeah, see, there's some of us. There used to be people that, like, I don't know if you know who's Stacey Evans, the pink poodle, or Mandy from, what was her channel? Glam Girls. Stacey once in a while is up late, but I haven't seen Mandy in a while, and there aren't a lot of other people that are crafting late at night, or what is really my day. I'm a night person, so I sleep during the day, and I haven't gotten a lot of crafting done, and I had started some projects. I did some videos. Uh-oh, was that my focus? No. Something's making a noise. I don't know what it is. Um, so I started these projects, and then I never really finished them. Let's see. Where's my... Got some paper pieces I might do tonight. See if I have an example of any of this stuff. It's funny. Just had them the other day. You know how that goes. Oh, I think I put them up here. I was gonna do these. I was calling them album covers. They're elbow macaroni and cheese boxes that I turned into book covers. And I made some mistakes that need to be corrected. And I was going to add like note cards. And this is like the paper piecing painting. And I cut the card wrong. Duh. So everything I did was wrong. So you can see why that got shelved. What's going on with my phone? Activity. I tell you. I don't want that. All right, got my chat back on. Yeah, I usually sleep like 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. kind of thing. So, I don't know. But, I don't know, like, I guess time's been flying a little faster than I thought, because I think it was around Christmas time or that I reached my 100 subscribers, and I thought, oh, I'll do a giveaway, and then I made a list of all my subscribers, and it only listed like 50 people. So there's like 50 people on my subscriber list that are either private or for some reason aren't showing up. So now it's past 100, so I'm thinking I should check that again and then, you know, like maybe use one of these booklets. So I haven't colored this one yet. Crack. They're not really looking the best. I don't know. Look at, they're not quite up to my standard, but plus this one I put the butterfly on upside down. So that was going to be just a, but yeah, it's just a elbow macaroni box, and I gessoed it and painted it, and then I embossed paper and painted, glued it inside. And then I took embossing paint or texture paste. I can't talk. And stenciled the butterfly on upside down, because I always think the window should be up on top. The macaroni people, of course, think the window should be at the bottom, so that's where they put it. I wonder if I should maybe use this white one. I could maybe get some color on there. And then maybe just start gathering some painty papers that I've done. Maybe add one of these. I'll only do it, maybe just print out the whole note card. So that's a thought of a project. Then I'm thinking of fishing. One of the last things I did was make these tiles, and this one's with ink, and then this one's with acrylic paint. And when I left the project, when I quit videotaping it, I hadn't put on my gloss yet. Now this still needs another coat or two. But the ink one, unfortunately, I should have just put like a super light coat and walked away, but I didn't. I went for it, blasted it. And so the ink started moving around, but I had kind of a scene going on, you know, with the earth and the sky and a couple trees, but now it's just, I don't know, it looks all right. And then this one with the acrylic paint, before I sprayed it, I added this flower, which it kind of looks like flour, but I hadn't done that before I stopped recording. All I had was kind of like a halfway decent looking tile, and then I added that flower, and I thought, oh, that's cool. So I'm still glossing that. So maybe I'll hit that with some spray and let it dry. I've heard that I should be using resin, but I'll try this triple thick, because I wanted them to be coasters. And I heard somewhere that I probably should dust these off. I'm not even sure the last time I messed with these. Probably have a coat of dust on them. He said if you want to use them for coasters, you have to use resin, otherwise it'll leave a ring, which doesn't sound all that good. All right. I'm going to try, I think I started with this clear glaze, triple thick Krylon. If I was doing any more than that, I would do it out in the garage. But it's just a little bit, so it should be okay. And I'll probably have to put, you know, a couple more coats of that on before that's done. That can go over here. Oops. Try to keep it level. What else did I have? Beads. I want to make some kind of jewelry. I've started with hat pins because it's pretty simple. I don't know if I have any here that are actually done. Like here's a bead I have drying from I don't know how long ago. That's got some lumps on it. Looks like it didn't dry evenly. So that sucks. Oh, here's one of the hat pins. And you could stick them in a scarf or a lapel or, I don't know, whatever. You see that okay? Let me see. Yeah. I kind of moved my camera a little up higher, so I don't know if anyone can see what the heck I'm talking about. But I like both paper and clay beads. Right now, I don't know where I put my... Oh, here, we'll put this aside. This is to make round clay beads, different sizes. That's to measure the clay. It's a Sculpey kit that you get. It works pretty good. Kind of getting to the point where everything's... I need to clean my workspace. I don't have a lot of stuff, but I have some paper beads that I've made that I haven't glossed yet or coated or varnished or whatever the heck. And I like to use what's it called? The enamel, the embossing enamel, UD, the really thick stuff. I like using that. That's some paper ones. These aren't my favorite colors, but just happen to be how they turned out. But that's already got a glaze on it. So, and then I bought some wire to make, thought I'd start with bracelets, like that might be the easiest thing to start with, but I think I left that in the other room, so I have no idea. I need to start a bead collection, and I'm scared because I've been to places that sell beads, and they're not cheap, and but they're so much fun that you can't resist them. I can't resist them, so I got to wait until I... Ooh! Oh, that box, I don't like the way that does that. Wants to pop open. So there's that idea. What other idea did I have? Oh, I had this really weird idea of these paper dolls. But I don't know if this is something you can even mail, you know, as a card, because it's not flat. So I'd have to do some investigating, but and I'd have to, I'm thinking of maybe, I don't know, they just seem like too much fun to not continue on with. You know, like, maybe put a stick in the down the back, you know, to twirl it with or whatever. And I kind of remembered that I had started this. I was watching Elizabeth Brewer the other night when she was making a wired fairy doll, and hers were like super cute, of course. Mine are in various stages of, like here, I think I used too stiff of a wire. Here, I didn't use a stiff enough one. But I thought, you know, these goofy painted faces, they'd be kind of fun. That was my idea. I mean, it's a version, I think, It's my interpretation of something I saw on someone else's channel, who I can't remember who. But I was thinking of doing like a bunch of hairdos, but like she used yarn or embroidery floss, and my chat keeps turning off. Why? I forgot what I was saying. So, oh, I used embroidery floss for the hair, but she used like a little wooden ball for the head, and I wanted to have a body, so I'm thinking of using like Velcro and then just Velcroing on the clothes. But at this point, I'm not quite sure where I put all that stuff, of course. Did I put it in here? I had an envelope of the templates. I think these are this is just the cloth. So, yeah, this is the problem when you aren't organized. It's hard to get moving on a project. I suppose for right now, what else is in here? Why is there all that string? Yeah, let's... Oh, maybe this is the... I have a template for some clothes. Like here could be the skirt. Kind of thing. You have different various tops, like maybe another kind of skirt. Then I haven't figured out if I want it to go all the way around or if I care about that. I don't think I do. I think I just want to do the front. And then the hair, I kind of like making it out of paper, but that won't last very long. So I was thinking of maybe gluing it down to some Tyvek or something and make it last longer that way. Because I can't really think of how to do it with anything. Like maybe add some fibers to it just to add some texture and color, but just leave it as paper for the most part. You know, just to like have a slot in there. I thought I had a different hairdo with... Who knows? I think it got flung away somewhere. I'm sure I'll run across it somewhere. Here, this is it. Oh, there's a nice bow. Ouch. But then I haven't decided if I'm going to use fabric or paper for the clothes. I mean, paper would just scream paper doll, which is what I was thinking, paper doll. But anyway, I guess since I can't find the rest of my stuff right now, it's moot. And I'll have to talk about it some other time. Or I could sit and find paper patterns. Hi, Michelle. I'm doing this live thing for the first time just to kind of see if it works. It does seem to be working. And as far as I can tell. And I'm just looking over stuff that I have started, not finished. Nothing in particular. I'm here in Minnesota. I don't know if anyone cares about that. We are melting our many feet of snow right now. We spent most of the winter in sub-zero temperatures, which totally sucked. I was born in the winter and always liked winter until I became a driver. But now that I'm retired, I don't really have to usually go anywhere if I don't want to. Oh, here's that other hare. Oh, isn't that fun? So I'll have to play with that someday. This one kind of came out crooked, but you know, you get the idea. All right, I think I'm gonna take this. I think that seems to be leaving pieces of that texture paste is pretty rough. What else can I use? This isn't turning out right. So like I was saying when I first started here, I'm not a teacher of anything. So don't get your notebook out. I'm the person you watch to see, oh, let's not do it that way. Like, oh, we could have done that a lot quicker. So I retired a few years ago from the phone company. I worked there 32 years. And since I started there when I was 19, was not really of retirement age when I decided to retire. And I chose to retire when I did because it was a buyout. They were surplusing some people. So there would have been some people that didn't want to leave, you know, that were way too, like, didn't have enough years to leave. Like, they wouldn't have been retiring. They would have been unemployed. And I wanted to leave, but I was, you know, I'd never really looked into it because I didn't think it was possible, you know, because I was only like 50, but I crunched the numbers and they came out, and since they were buying us out on top of it, I thought, hey, I can afford that, I think. Because I don't have any kids, and at the time I just had one cat who did his best to try to wipe out my emergency fund before he finally died. Poor thing. I wonder if I should try to give it a coat of this stuff. I don't like this. I like the cream color, but I don't know, it's kind of bumpy and I don't feel like sanding it. Let's just do this, see what happens. So, I don't know. I don't really get around crafting as much as I would like to. I think a lot of the times it's because my workspace is a mess. And other times it's because I think I might rather craft with somebody instead of all by myself. So I don't know if that's part of it. Of course, when things aren't going right and you're swearing, you probably prefer to do that alone and not seem like a crab apple. But I try to have patience. But sometimes, you know, it's like everything you pick up. Like tonight, for example. Oh, I gave myself the choice of, okay, either try this live thing or do your taxes. So here I am. And I think the universe might be saying, guess what you really should have been? You should have chose to do your taxes. Well, I hope I haven't been off camera this whole time, have I? I'm attempting at finishing up this macaroni box that I've turned into a folder or a book cover. I'm trying to fancy it up a little bit, I think. And that's what I'm doing right now. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here because it's really just, I was just going to test it out and see if it even worked. And then maybe clean up my workspace and actually have a project in mind, but I don't know, who cares, right? It's the middle of the night. Just do whatever you want to do. And I just thought I'd go live because I know some people like to have people to chat with, and we don't really have a lot of those places to go to anymore right now. So maybe until that picks up again, I can just be a venue for people to chat with each other. So sort of working and then sort of not working. All at the same time. La la la. La la la. So, and since I did retire, kind of at a young age, I knew that I was really good at doing nothing. And so I planned on doing that for like 6 months to a year. And I did. And it grew into like 3 years. And when I say nothing, I pretty much mean nothing. I did some crafting, but mostly all the years that I worked, I didn't craft. It hadn't occurred to me to do that. I thought, oh, that's something I could do when I retire. And then I realized, oh my God, look at all the stuff I missed out on. And so then I became one of those people that shopped for all the stuff that I felt I needed. And now a lot of it, I can't even remember why I bought it. But don't tell anybody. So, and I gained a bunch of weight and having trouble getting up out of the chair. And I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't good. So I thought, maybe I'll get a job. So I got a job that's just weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. And of course, the dream job would be at a craft store or something. I think I'm using too much of this lovely paint. But instead, I wound up in this office assistant job working for American Auto Works. And they have this little office down on the railroad. And I keep track of cars that they unload from the trains. So it's really kind of a mindless, which is what I wanted. I know. And yeah, and try to remember, you know, like what video you watched that inspired you to purchase that. Forget about it. It never occurred to me to like keep track of that or no, don't know. I have no idea. So now I guess if I want to know what something is, I can just look on YouTube and see what people are using it for. Kind of the reverse. The reverse deal. Let's see, I didn't want to use, did I want to use that? So, la-ti-da. We'll add some of this color back on here. It might not be too bad. I got my 100 subscribers, so I was thinking maybe I'd put together, you know, a little something. This might not be it. It might be it, might not be it. Just randomly pick somebody from that random picker thing. All right, well, let's see. That's that. How do I want to play with glue? Uh-oh. Look what I did to my glue brush. Oh, dear. That might be ruined. They always say don't leave paint on your brush. And here it is, just sitting here. Okay, I think I'll set this aside to dry. And get my light table out. I want the on-off button up there, otherwise I keep pressing it with my wrist and turning it on and off while I'm thinking to have enough papers. Let's see. Make some flowers. This is getting to be slim picking. Or just peel off of here. Oh, it might. Of course, what am I going to stick it onto? A piece of wax paper. Where would I put my wax paper? You said it. Huh. Here we go again. pause in the background. Oh yeah, I was gonna, no, that's not what I was gonna do with that. Oh, I could use that. Okay, there's more painty papers. Oops, I don't know how to keep my phone alive. Keeps wanting to shut off. Okay, I don't need the black. Maybe I'll just leave that alone for now. And that's for something totally different. All right. All right, so I have kind of green and blue, and green and blue, and some yellow. All right, so this will give me some pinks and reds. And oranges. Of course, this paper's a lot thicker than I wanted. Do we have Dawn dish soap? I must have been talking about something. I'm sorry. All right. Whoops. Oh, to take the sticky off, maybe you meant, of that card. But I don't know. Maybe I could find some use for that card some other. Purple to purple. I think I'm just going to sit here and rip up some paper. See if I can get a fairly decent variety of it. I thought I had a decent variety of it. But then when I went to make my flower, I don't know. I mean, it came out okay. But, for, you know, my work, please don't compare it to anybody else's out there. Please, please. Or do whatever you want, really. What do I care? right, and then I think I decided I didn't want to tear it because I keep lining up with this edge. And for this little project, those edges don't really fit in. So I'm just kind of gonna randomly cut my pieces out, which might take a little longer. So what do I have to talk about? Not much. Easter's coming up on April Fool's Day, and I have to work. I never thought of that when I took the weekend job. So that'll be interesting. But they sure cram in a lot of hours. I work at least 12 hours a day. So, yeah. Makes for a long weekend. You know, and when you're working like 5 days a week, and you get the 2 days off, you always wish they had the scheduling where, you know, you work 2 days and got 5 off. Yay, so I have that now, but I don't know. I think along with daylight savings time and the job, I'm like, I've been so tired. So it's like I practically needed 5 days. But I thought maybe part of that was because, you know, I'm a night person and I usually sleep like 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And when I'm working on the weekend, I'm working like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. like is right smack dab in the middle of my normal sleep time. So I'm thinking, well, I'm trying to make up for that. Then daylight savings time last weekend. And Mondays, like I could barely lift my head off the pillow. I felt like I was being gassed, actually. And I couldn't keep my eyes open. And so I texted my brother. I said, either I have narcolepsy, because I've actually been having this issue for a couple of weeks now, but it just got worse in the last week. I said, I either have narcolepsy or I have some sort of diet deficiency. What do you think it is? And he said, iron. So I'm like, oh, yeah. Because I remember as a kid, my mom was always trying to pump me with iron. And I hadn't thought about that in a long time. So I looked up what I needed to eat. And I revamped my grocery list. And I had some things. And that did help. God. It's like, yay. So I thought, oh no. I think I'm going to have to get the gas company in here and find out if I've got a gas leak. But, I mean, if you did, would you just be tired, or wouldn't it, like, you'd be dead? Like, I woke up dead. So, I don't know. Hi, Christy. Sorry if I Didn't say hi right away. I'm probably not going to be one of those excellent live streamers that can talk to the chat and craft. I think since there's only a few people, I should be able to handle it to a certain extent. There it goes again, wants to die. I'm sure there's some setting that I should be able to set. And this is a painty paper that I did watching Stacey Evans during Mixed Media Mashup, and I scanned it. Or no, I think I took a picture of it or something. And then printed it on copy paper. I think I'm going to use it right now. I thought, well, that's a good way to, like, you know, 'cause sometimes that painty paper, or, you know, the actual mixed media stuff can be pretty thick. And, well, I think this should be enough different colors. Yeah, well, I thought, well, since I'm basically, hey, Michelle, what's going on? Is my phone doing that to you? Your messages are retracted. I thought I just come on in the middle of the night and mess around with my stuff with nothing really in particular in mind and turn the chat on. So, because sometimes I've seen people go, oh, where are we going to go if you don't come on? You know, like to other, not to me, but, you know, because they just really want some place to go and chat. And now I'm not a person you want to come to for advice or anything like that. It's just my channel. Channel's open if you want to chat, that's all. And if not, then that's fine too, because I'm just going to do what I'm doing. I'm not one of those journal people who's going to be probably making a journal. I mean, I did have I am putting this together, but seems a little big for what I'm thinking of using it for now. But and I was just thinking of maybe giving away something for my 100 subscribers, and like maybe it'll be something like this, full of painty papers and different little things. But I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't got my little things put together, so I thought maybe that's something I could kind of mentally think about while I'm doing this kind of thing. Now, I've done other videos which had to do with the starting of that album cover. And because I don't know how YouTube works at all, I just went in and started recording, you know. And then I went to download it, and it took like, I think it was like a little over an hour, my recording. And it took like, I swear it was like a whole day that it was downloading into YouTube. And I'm like, what the heck? You know, and then when it was done, it said it was too big, that it wouldn't let me play it. And I thought it had a reason, but I don't remember what that reason is anymore. And so I was in somebody's chat, or I was in a Pink Poodle Facebook page or something, or inquiring if anyone else had run into that. And Stacy wasn't aware of anything like that, and recommended that I just make it into segments and then, you know, upload it or download it or whatever the hell into YouTube. So I thought, oh, that's a good idea. But then it would only let me do 15 minutes. And I thought maybe that's because there was some sort of probation period, because it popped up with a warning, or not a warning, but like an error message. But it wouldn't stay on long enough for me to actually read the whole message. So I interpreted it as I was in like some sort of probation period, and I needed to put in some time in YouTube before it would let me do this, that, or the other thing. But in the meantime, I'm watching other people do whatever the hell they want. And I'm like, okay, well, I obviously misunderstood that. But now, you know, this is after about 10 or 12 videos that I did that are only 15 minutes long. And so I don't know. So I went back to, and I read something else, and I went, oh, maybe that's what I did wrong, or I don't know. So I think I have it figured out. I think it still doesn't like it to be over an hour, but I don't remember. Maybe if I'd hang in with something for a little while instead of giving up, I'd figure it out. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm just using my iPad to record with, and my phone, I guess, to watch the chat with. Because I'd heard other people doing that. I thought, oh, I can try that. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? Aren't you glad I'm telling you all of this? Nothing. But I've done a couple of ceramic tiles, both with ink and acrylic paint, like the flow acrylic paint. What do they call it? High flow. Mine's by Golden. I love this stuff. It makes good skins and paint skins. I remember going, oh, paint skins, and having to make those right away, and then I don't know what to do, you know. Why did I do that? Like months later, I'm like, what am I going to do with these? I'm sure I'll figure something out. Because they are kind of cool. And you can, you know, punch your dies out, different flowers and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. But I don't know. I like with these painty papers. Right now I'm planning on doing some flowers, but I really like when people do the little buildings, like a little town or a city, like, you know, I could do a city I live in or just outside of St. Paul, Minnesota, the capital city, which barely was mentioned during the whole Super Bowl thing. I know, Christy. We're wasting their precious gifts they're giving us. But you know what? It's with you, whether you do anything with it or not. It still makes you happy thinking about it, and you know that someday you can do something with it. If you're like me, you'll sit there going, what was it? Or you'll just come up with your own idea, you know? Maybe. So, I have a lot of orange. I didn't remember having a lot of orange. Red. Let's turn these over. I love when it flips over like that. Why? Why? All right, maybe I'll... It's a nice little piece. Get some different... You wonder why I hung on to this. It's not that attractive. Maybe we'll save some of the yellow part of it. Cutting up paper. See, these are the types of little chores that need to be done that like I said, I'm not on here to do a class or teach anybody anything. Bye. Good night. And the channel's open if you want to chat. That's really the only reason I'm on here. If nobody wants to chat, maybe I don't want to chat, and then I wonder why I'm here. No, maybe no one wants to ever. Or maybe there's just someone out there sitting there. They don't want to type. Maybe they feel not so alone. Well, that's okay too. Some of these you wonder, why did I hang on to this piece of paper? Even if it's cut up into little itty bitty pieces, it doesn't look that attractive. But that red might come in handy. See, so Easter's coming up and I can't attend Easter. Madre said I could swing by her house after work and have a ham sandwich, so that'll be nice. Because I'm usually quite hungry after work. I don't feel like eating while I'm there, and then when I leave, I'm like starving. Or sometimes you're so hungry, you're beyond hungry, you know? Does that make sense? I mean, I don't want to compare myself to someone in a starving nation, you know, where they don't actually have any food. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention comedians' names. That just reminded me of a comedian. It's like, oh, hors d'oeuvres? So that's the food we eat before we eat our food. Oh, dessert? That's the food we have after. Yeah. Oh, like, oh my God, how embarrassing almost, you know. But I don't know. I can't help it that we live on plush farmland, you know. There was a comedian who no longer is with us, he'd scream at the people to move to where the food is. Oh. Which, you know, makes sense, but maybe they can't do that. I don't know. I'm guessing not. Because it does seem kind of, it does seem, you know, sometimes you just wonder, like, what the heck's going on? Like, we keep sending money and food, and these people are living in, there's no farmland nearby. How are they ever supposed to not be in that situation if they don't somehow, you know, figure out a way to move? I don't know, but like we keep shipping the supplies to these remote locations. But, you know, here I go. I don't talk politics. It's just because I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't want to insult anybody. But it does, you know, my uneducated brain, it does get boggled sometimes with, you know, I mean, it's like decades and decades and decades of this going on, and you don't really see too much change. There's still some very sad situations out there. then, then there's us. Oh yeah, this is the food we have before our meal. And this is the food we have after our meal. It's like just out of whack. You know, why can't we just have food evenly distributed to everybody? Wouldn't that be the perfect situation? All right, so I guess I'm going to assume I have enough colors right now. Oh, good. Yes, that's the purpose of it. Those who want to craft, craft, and too bad I can't hear you. You might have something more interesting to say. Did I say your name right? Leslie? Leslie B? Do you say both names or? I like that you have a name. Some people come up with their, and I understand having a screen name, but it makes it awkward for conversation. You know, when you're trying to call them Lisi. Okay, Lisi. Lisi B. That's nice. All right, I'm going to I forgot about the kitty cats. Oh, and I have birds and stuff too. Where are those? So I have these, they're little coloring books. I think I got them on Amazon, so probably not the cheapest, but instead of coloring on these, I trace them onto tracing paper, or I could copy them onto vellum from my copy machine and do it that way, or, you know, whatever. But they should last a while if you don't use them up. I've got some Christmas ones and some animal ones. Here's a flower one. Oh, and I traced some already. I thought I had. All right, so I have a couple of these traced. Let's set this paper aside. And then you know, when you have something like this in your craft room, there's just really is like, oh, I know where I'll keep that. I'll just throw it in here and hope I remember I did that. Not to interrupt your work, Lisa B, but where do you live? I'm hot. I need a fan in here. I mean, I thought I had some pieces of tracing paper already torn. Oh, wait. So you already forgot how the process. I let just enough time go by. I think I'll try this one. So what I do is I trace it off out of the book, and when I turn it over, I don't think I need the light for this. And then I get out my glue. Ah, Houston. Has spring sprung in Houston, I'm assuming. We're just finally coming out of the 30-degree weather, so our snow's not melted. Stir up my glue. Oh, yikes. Wasn't expecting this. I tried making my own Mod Podge. Yes, she's very confused. Or not. She might just be out to kill some of us or most of us or something. I don't know. But the sub-zero temperatures that we had to deal with this winter were ridiculous. Well, this is weird. Like all the glue part sunk to the bottom. Ew. I don't know if it's gonna loosen up. I wonder if one of those emulsion blenders would work. That's weird. I mean, I know I let it sit here for a while, but not that long. I wonder if it's going to dissolve properly. Oops. All right, well, is it mixing in? I don't, must be. Oh, that's nice if you can look at it as a treat. I used to love the snow when I was a kid because I played in it, but then I got old. I guess on the days that I don't have to go anywhere, it's okay. But when I was working and I had to commute, ugh, I hated it. But now the job I have now is just on weekends and it's really close to home, so it's not a big deal. So I don't really care about the snow so much anymore, but so now instead of bothering me with the snow, I decided to have 40 below temperatures, you know. It's like if you stick your face outside for more than 5 minutes, it turns black and falls off, and you know, like, wow. That seems a little severe. You know, and then you're hoping, well, maybe it'll kill all those mosquitoes and mice, and but no, they seem to survive just fine out there. So I bought a vehicle that, because I've never had this problem before. And every time I take it in for the oil change, which is like every 6 months because it's got that synthetic, yeah, it was very cold and for days and days. Oh, there was no letting up. I mean, it wasn't 40 below for days and days, but it was below zero for days and days. And I think once it gets below zero, who cares if it's 5 below, 10 below, or 40 below? It's cold. And you're not supposed to be out there. But anyway, every time I take the vehicle in now, it has this cabin, they call it a cabin intake vent, and it has a filter. And that filter needs to be replaced every time I go in because these mice, and I keep my vehicle in my garage, so it really annoys me even more that there's mice in my garage. And they're nesting in this filter. So I don't know if that means they're riding with me everywhere I go or what the heck's going on, but it's like over $100 because they have to lower the engine apparently to get the filter out and replace it. You know, and then there's the cost of the actual filter. And it's like, this is ridiculous. Can't they, you know, I've never had that problem before. And why can't the manufacturer of the vehicle correct that then? You know, that I would think that would be a problem all over the country. But, you know, maybe they're making extra money that way. I don't know. It's annoying. So yeah, my cat died, and it seemed like the very next day, died in like last October. It seemed like the very next day, the mice were in the house. And I'm like, no. I don't want you in my house. So I had to try to figure out, and I think they're gone now, but it's bad enough that you're living in the filter in my vehicle. I don't want you in my house. Get out, you freeloaders. And then I always think of The Secret of NIMH. It's like, do I want to chase around? Do I want to put up mouse traps and put out poison? And, because I always think of like little Timmy or whatever his name was. And I know. At this point, I'm going to say no, because I've had cats for many years, and they've never had any issues except for like the day that they died. And this cat had, like, he came up with some bladder condition that, of course, I find out about at like 11 o'clock at night. And so I'm like, I got to get him to the hospital. I had no idea what was wrong with him. So here, the hospital charges me like $2,400 to take care of him. And they kept him for like 2 days, I think. And then I finally got to take him home. But I had like 5 different medications I had to give him, and and he was all groggy, and I had to try to keep him upstairs, not let him go down, because he probably would have fallen down the stairs. So after all that money and everything, I'm still doing all this, and I'm not a caregiver, so I'm not good at this stuff. And one medication he needed once a day, one he needed every 8 hours, and another one he needed, every 12 hours. And so I had like this stupid schedule. But so he finally gets over that. I took him to the vet, who was like a normal person and charged normal money. And we were able to correct his problem with his diet, where the hospital wanted to do surgery on him right away, which would have been like kind of like a sex change operation or something. It was like really weird. Lots of money. Yeah. So that happened twice. And then and I was told that oftentimes if it happens once, it's going to happen again. And I'm like, well, how come none of my other cats have ever had it? Because they're saying it's very common for male cats to get this. And I had 2 other male cats over a 20-year span that neither one of them had it. But so I'm thinking it's something in the food that we're feeding them now, especially when it can be corrected with the diet. Of course, that's the food that the vet has at their location. So the food's more expensive. But, he was feeling better. Then all of a sudden, he starts losing weight left and right. And I'm thinking he's being finicky eater, and I'm trying all these different flavors and textures and cold and hot, and calling him names, and you know how it is. Not that he understood any of that, but and so that it's back to the veterinarian, and he gave him some kind of ultrasound and says there's some sort of mass, and he's going to have to call in the expert. Of course, that's where the more money comes in, So for $500, or it was $500 to $600, I think he said, that one of the veterinarians that actually worked at the hospital that was charging me so much money in the first place, that's where he normally works, he had the better machine that would see better But so I'm thinking, okay, so it's going to be like $500, $600 more now. And that isn't even going to help the cat. You know, it's like the cat's not going to feel better or be better. It's just so they can see him better. And then, you know, if I follow through with all of this, you know, obviously he's going to need to have an operation because the veterinarian thought it was probably like some sort of tumor. And that's why he wasn't eating. He's hungry. He wants to eat. But this tumor grew so fast and it was starting to crowd his vital organs, and so like his stomach was part of that, you know, so he could only eat little tiny bits of food. Oh my God. So I wound up just having him put down because he, you know, he was on the brink of death anyway. And you know, I've never had a cat like that before. And I felt horrible, just horrible. He was only 8.5. And I've always had a pet. Now I don't have one because I'm afraid I can't afford it if it gets sick. And when you're retired and on a fixed income and, you know, and my health insurance since I retired has gone up over $100 every year per month. Like per month, I had to pay like $120 per month more than the year before. So, hello, you know. And I thought, I must have picked the wrong health insurance or something, but other people I've talked to seem to be having the same issue. So, I don't know. So that's another reason why I got this part-time job, was maybe to help pay for something. I don't know if I want to say I'm paying for my craft stuff or if I want to say I'm paying for my health insurance. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's get started. This stuff is very, very soupy. Now after that demonstration with the glue being at the bottom of the barrel, I'm afraid to put more in there. I think I'm just going to randomly pick. I always say that, and then all of a sudden everything seems like it's the same color again. I start randomly picking it. Yikes. See, it's just like the stuff I had before. Oh. Yeah, I still can't talk about it very much. I wasn't ready for that at all. And then knowing that I'm not going to be able to afford to have another cat. No. Depressing. And as naughty and annoying as they are, you sure love them. They're so flippin' cute. So they've got this new cafe, the Cafe Meow. Am I doing this right? I'm not doing this right. Oh my God, what a dork. I'm like, how do I see the color? Oh, I'm putting the color face down. So, here you go, boys and girls. Watch Auntie Shelly. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. The simplest little thing. Jeez. I'm like, I don't remember having this trouble before. Oh. All right. These thicker pieces of paper are harder to glue down, obviously. Oh. See, here's another one I did upside down. Maybe I need to go do my taxes after all. Of course, if I screw up on my taxes, that will be a problem. I feel like I still don't have enough color variation. I don't know how to change that. I know they're not this much fun, that's for sure. And mine aren't like super complicated or anything, but for some reason, I used to do them like the 1st of February, done. And then I started putting it off. Procrastinating. All right. I need some more pink. I just don't feel like I have enough different colors. Mm-hmm. I think there's some gospel station in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know how it winds up on that station. I don't ever choose it, but TiVo seems to think I need some kind of religion, I guess. If I could sing, I'd sing along. You could get a little gospel singing in your while you're crafting. All right. Is that going to help me? I do too. Except if I did, you'd be changing the channel. I don't know what happened to all the people that used to stream at night, but they seem to have started disappearing, turning into day people. Well, I don't know. Is it worth it, I ask you? I don't feel like I'm getting a really colorful flower out of this. So I guess I'll do this one, and then I think it might have to go back to making more painty papers. Do I have brighter colors? I don't know. Because normally I don't like bright colors, so that's a problem. That would be the problem I'm running into now. Start liking painty paper or bright colors, that's telling me. If you don't like the color of your flowers. And they kind of look like quilty, so that's not too bad, I guess, but. Oh yeah, maybe I could sew on them. Might be an idea. Might be an idea. Da. So right. La, 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 la. Whoops. So we had the Olympics here. That didn't go too badly. Of course, I live in the capital city of St. Paul, which I'm not even sure anyone mentioned, you know, during the whole Super Bowl. What did I didn't say the Olympics, I hope. This whole Super Bowl thing, you know, that there were Minneapolis and St. Paul. So that's okay. It's their, I think it's their taxpayers paying that stupid stadium charge tax. Which I think we all voted no for, but somehow there it is. It's a really nice stadium from what I can tell, but I don't think it's worth it. I think it's a big fat waste of money. I can't afford to go to any of the games, you know. I don't know who these people are that can. And I definitely can't afford to go to the Super Bowl, you know. But it kept some people occupied for a while. I don't remember there being any stories of people being murdered and all that, but I'm sure they want to keep that hush hush. Well, we have company. Don't want to have that all over the news at night, huh? It was kind of nice all around because I don't remember them speaking all that much about the president either. You know, it's like, do we have to talk about him every single day? You know, I don't remember there ever being a president before. I mean, I know he does things, you know, that, but, you know, just maybe treat him like a toddler. Like if you don't, if you don't mention his antics, you know, maybe he won't, I don't know. He says some wild stuff, that's for sure. It seems like locally here, I don't think they were mentioning him as much. But, you know, when you think about it, on the one hand, I mean, not to say whether his politics are right or wrong, I'm not going there. But I remember, and you can just only hope and pray that that was a one-time deal, but I remember before 9/11, and we were bitching and moaning about nothing all the time, you know. And then 9/11 came along. And all of that died way off, and we were all focused on that one thing. And sticking together, and, you know, it wasn't too long before we started back with the nitpicking over everything. But usually, you know, and I see that too, like in corporate America when I worked there, that if the employees were grumbling and complaining about all these little nitpicky things, then that was a good thing because we didn't have bigger things to worry about, you know? Yeah, he's controversial, that's for sure. Oh, it's too funny. So I guess, you know, of course, a lot of people think that this is the equivalent of terrorism, you know, talking about what the president's doing. I don't know. I think he just has a little bit of toddler left in him, and, you know, he hasn't gotten it out of his system. So he's just egging everybody on. That's right. Oh, I didn't do a very good job on that. That should not have taken that long. Ah! I have to adjust my seating. My back is not happy right now. Why? Singing is over. Got some preacher man in there just yelling at everybody. Amen, they're saying. Amen. So, I'm on. In April is Madre's 80th birthday, which is shocking. I don't believe she's that old, but she says she is. Her birthday is actually on the 9th of April, but nobody's schedule couldn't get everybody together on the 9th of April, so we're not having it till the 21st, I think. And I still am not sure if I can go because I work the weekends. Everyone keeps forgetting that, even though I keep telling them that. So we'll see. I might be able to get off early and go. But of course, then they're having it at this really fancy restaurant. And where I work is like as far from fancy as you can get. But she didn't want gifts. She wanted everybody to write a story about them and her and include a picture of themselves. You know, so one of the people that was sent this email was all excited about it. She's like, what a wonderful idea. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to see everybody's story and da 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 da. And I'm sitting there groaning and thinking the exact opposite. You know, it's like, oh, this is my worst nightmare. Because I'm sort of okay at picking out gifts or making something as a gift. But to put two sentences together, forget about it. I can't do it. I don't remember how to punctuate, how to build a sentence. My brain doesn't work that way in the fact that, you know, to say, oh, here's a time that we had together and be able to put it into words, you know. It's like I don't even remember being alone with her. To have a special moment, you know what I mean? Like just the two of us or whatever. Or maybe she didn't mean just the two of us, just, I don't know what she meant. Because I didn't ask her, but she was a school teacher, a grade school aged. She taught in the grade schools for many years. And I'm like, oh my God, she's giving us homework for her birthday. That's what she wants. And of course, everybody else, that seems to be right up their alley, you know. They're all college educated and writing comes naturally for them, and it's like my worst nightmare. So I kind of thought about it and I thought, well, maybe what I'll do is it's like I can't it'll be like, oh, I was unable to finish my homework assignment, and like leave it up to her to help me with it. Like, so I just put down some, you know, certain ways that I felt. Because, okay, so who Madre is to me is both my parents have passed on. And my dad died like in 92, and my mom died in 2012. And we have a very tiny little family. And so I have a brother. And so I told him we're orphans. You know, we need to find parents. And I and I was 50 and he was 55, you know. And I recommended his ex-in-laws because I always liked them and they always seemed to like me. And I know he was still friends with his ex-wife Candace and her parents, and you know, so I was like, ha ha ha, wouldn't that be funny? And then so he went and asked them if they would adopt us, and they said yes, of course. So ever since then, it's been Thanksgiving, Christmas Day. We're going to Nevada to visit Candace because that's where she lives now, is in Reno. So we didn't do Christmas, but then my birthday was in January, so we had to celebrate that. Rick's birthday's in February. He's my brother, so then we had that. So January, February, March. I don't think we did anything in March, unless Easter fell on March. Because then all of a sudden, Easter is a big thing. Madre loves Easter. She decorates the whole house, hides Easter baskets. None of us have kids, you know, and none of us even have pets anymore. I was the last one with the pet. Don't we sound like fun? So then Padre died like 2 years ago now. doesn't seem possible. It was 2 years ago. So she's alone, but she travels a lot. She has a lot of friends everywhere. So she's really only been my mom, air quotes, mom, since 2012, so we haven't really, and most of the time that we've spent together has been for holidays, and I'm going to put this big piece on here. So I don't even have an exam, even if I knew how to write. And I used to like English, like up until about the 9th grade. I don't remember what happened, but because I liked spelling and I liked, learning what words to use and stuff like that. But I think it was like when they started wanting you to write things and then stand up in front of the class. Oh, that's sweet. I bet they loved that. Yeah, I could do something like that. Well, yeah, so I just wrote down some feelings that I've had because of her, and and things that she has said, how they're educational and funny. She's really funny. Like her Christmas letter was hysterical. And so what we were supposed to do was write this letter and send a picture to Candace, the daughter in Reno. And then she's going to put it all together in an album. So I was thinking, like us with, like with the mixed media and all that. I thought, oh, I could do a page for, I could add these thoughts and explain that, how I'll need help putting them together to have an actual story. But I could like make this grade school looking page, get the old paper with the line for the lettering. And so I got some of that and I doodled on it like a kid would, and I have like little tic-tac-toes and hangman, and I did some letter practicing and erasing. I have erase marks all over, and and then Candace is like, no, I don't want a scrapbook page. She wants to put it in one of those books, like those photo books that, and I'm like, ugh. So anyway, I continued on making my page and I scanned it and emailed it to her. So I thought, well, that should work. And then I'm going to give Marjorie the red pencil so she could correct my paper. But yeah, I'm with you. Forget the writing of something. God. But on the other hand, if she would have asked for a homemade gift, I probably would have been one of the only people that would have been able to do that. So. It's her stupid birthday. Oh, I just couldn't believe it. She gave us homework. Homework. Oh, and then the picture, because of course, I don't like having my picture taken. You can see that I'm not displaying myself on this video because I don't like the way I look. I've gained weight, I'm old, I don't want pictures of me out there on the internet. And so I dug into my files and found some grade school pictures and added those to my scrapbook page. I'm gonna do it my way, like it or not. So she doesn't have a picture of me now, but she's got a picture of me. That would be a picture she wouldn't have of me otherwise, so. Because she wasn't around in those days. Oh, this is not going as planned. I suppose if I did this more often, it would go a lot quicker. It'd be like bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. I don't like that mushy stuff either. I like if I'm going to write something, it's going to be sarcastic, I like the sarcastic birthday cards. I don't like those. My mom used to have to buy 2 birthday cards. One that she liked giving, which was the mushy flowers, and how could she possibly have ever lived without me for even a minute, which we all know is not true. She could have lived just fine. Um, and of course, I don't like those. They're too mushy. And if they're written well enough, they can actually make you cry. Why do I want to do that? You know, it's my birthday. I don't like crying. I mean, I know what happens, but I don't necessarily like it. Oh, I tell you, mothers. Boy, and she and I did not see eye to eye most of my childhood and teenage years, I'll tell you. On every subject, food, clothing, entertainment, you know. We did not agree. Now the tissue paper glues down way easier. Shocking. There's my tutorial. Write it down, Lizzie. Tissue paper glues down easier than cardstock. I might not be able to sit here much longer. My back is starting to cramp up on me. La 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 la. Well, ooh, he's talking about Satan. I don't think I've heard about Satan in a very long time. Watch out for Satan. He's out there. Apparently. It just reminds me of Church Lady from Saturday Night Live. Satan? Let's see. Yeah, my posture is not my best event either. It is a lot of hunching. Yes, ma'am. I think I've mostly been on camera this whole time. It's a fine time to check. Let's see. Okay, I want a nice gold piece to go here. Cover that flower. And we'll add the green. Oops. What the heck is that? It doesn't want to glue. It's weird. Doesn't want to glue. I don't know what to talk about. I still don't know what I did with the wax paper pieces that I had. I think I threw them away. I wasn't thinking clearly. All right, because I'm going to need to definitely lay this under something. Definitely. Okay, I think put a little hunk of paper right here. Well, I don't know what you're working on, but it does not get better than this right here. Does not get better than this right here. I had an example. I don't know if you saw it. Here it is. It turns out looking out something like this when it's done. So that's what I've been doing. Every time I do it, I forget how tedious it is. I forget. So, Lacey, if you're still there, I'm going to go now. Because I'm old and my back can't take it anymore. I think I need more sitting up and crafting time than I've had lately. Get my rock. My neighbor painted me this rock. I use it as a weight. Yeah, so happy crafting, and maybe I'll see you around somewhere sometime, and adios.